Red Dead Redemption 2's Swamp Mission is the only mission in the game where Arthur moves as fast as the overall pacing. Okay, that's not fair. Red Dead 2 is an exhaustively long game, but I can't deny the immaculate quality it maintains throughout that gluttonous length. With one exception being the Chapter 4 mission Country Pursuits. This mission entails Dutch and Arthur fetching a boat for the burglary on Angelo Bronte's manor. And you know how the second most tedious part of the Grand Theft Auto 5 campaign was gathering the items for the heist? This feels like that, but glacially paced. Red Dead 2 is a game that's too long with too many missions that don't move the story forward. Now, not all of them have to. Some, like No, No, and Thrice No, are missions that put focus on one of the side characters in the camp, which helps you form a better connection with your gang. But turning the acquisition of a boat into a full-fledged mission is just padded runtime that someone else could have done. The mission itself consists of wading through the murky swamps, and credit where it's due, the atmosphere is as thick as the water in this scene, and it's abundant with tension. You can tell that the scene is building up to something huge. The NPCs start to mention a legendary alligator, and you begin to get nervous. Then, when you're in the boat, the gator appears and you only have to shoot it a few times and it leaves, which is pretty anticlimactic. I was hoping for another cinematic showdown like with the bear in Chapter 2. That was a hectic, intense battle against a creature far stronger than you, and I was disappointed at the missed opportunity. Overall, this is just a mission that contributes to Red Dead's bloat. If unimportant missions like this were cut, then maybe we could get back to a Rockstar with a consistent release schedule. The Mary Jane missions in Spider-Man have been talked to death about how instant fail stealth missions are terrible, and how no one wants to play as not Spider-Man in a Spider-Man game. So I thought I'd turn my attention to the return of these missions in Spider-Man 2. Firstly, why are these missions returning at all? Why in Mephisto's name would you bring back the one universally maligned part of your previous game? Was it just to prove that you can make them better if you knew what to avoid? I don't recall anyone saying, "I wish I could fight back in these sections." I do remember them saying that they wish they were removed. But they did address the main complaints about these sections. They're no longer an instant fail, and you have the power to fight back. But every time you play as Mary Jane throughout the main campaign, it's pointless from a narrative standpoint. She completely fails to prevent Dr. Connors from becoming the Lizard again, so the mission in the zoo was a waste of time, and planting the bomb in the symbiote nest was something Miles should have done. It's absolutely ridiculous to send a civilian into an alien nest, no matter how broken her gun is. It just feels like Insomniac is bending over backwards to make her playable when the plot doesn't call for it and the audience doesn't want it. So I'm left stumped as to why these missions persisted into the sequel. Remember that throwaway line about how collecting the tools for the heist was the second most tedious part of Grand Theft Auto 5's campaign? Well, welcome to the first. The Scouting the Port mission is the single most baffling mission Rockstar has ever created. Not a single act of violence occurs in this mission, nor any meaningful character development. You quite literally work a typical day at the Los Santos port, and take some photos when no one is looking. I genuinely struggle to find anything positive to say about this mission. It's dull, monotonous, pointless, annoying, and just a complete waste of time. Does Trevor seem like the type of person to go undercover as a minimum wage labourer and be able to keep his cool? No, he just sent Wade to do it. Or better yet, why not change the mission to be an assault on the airport to steal a helicopter and then take some aerial photos of the cruiser? Why not make it a stealth mission as a fun parody of the Metal Gear Solid 2 tanker section and have Trevor sneak past the Merryweather guards? Why does Rockstar consider this mission so important that it's worthy of a loading screen illustration? Why does this mission even exist? And I could honestly get over all this and accept the mission if it went somewhere. But it doesn't. The entire heist is a waste of time because you have to put back what you stole in the end. The final game I want to talk about is the diving section in Uncharted 4. And you know what? I love this chapter so much. There are a few key differences between this chapter and the ones I previously discussed. Firstly, Uncharted 4 is a linear game, so Naughty Dog can place these down moments in the sections where they're needed the most. The other examples are all open world games, so when you enter a mission, you're expecting an excellent scripted set piece after you were done moseying around the open world. After the intense Panama prison shootout, Uncharted 4 puts its scuba chapter in and lulls the pacing back down to give the audience a break. This also happens exceptionally early in the game, so the player isn't in the thick of the plot and is desperate to see it driven forward. What's more, this breather chapter could have been anything. Instead, Naughty Dog made this gorgeous deep-sea dive, showing off the power of the PS4 when first-party PS4 exclusives were just beginning to find their footing. Action games can't be all chaos all the time. You need to give your player room to breathe. However, if you're an open world game, those moments can come whenever the player wants them, so there's no need to slow down your story.